Hey, Steady Stephen. It's the 3rd of Saturday, 3rd of March 2018. And I was just reminiscing and thinking about the guild and just thinking about, I know I'm a little bit biased, but, you know, these guys are awesome, man. Awesome. And I actually kind of think back to when I first started. I think I mentioned it before. When I first started off the game, I joined a few guilds and I got kicked out over some real bullshit, you know what I mean? It was like, I got kicked out for claiming a shard and there was no system there, you know what I mean? I think basically what it was a slave guild. And they didn't open any maps. They kind of, thinking, yes it was, yeah, it definitely was a slave guild. Yeah, they had these maps open and I did claim loads of, what was it? I can't remember the name of the guild, unfortunately. I know for a fact that my sensei Yamada-san would have heard about it. Did they claim now? Oh, it was Sekhmet, like some really vital cards. Nah, I'm joking. But I did claim a few Sekhmet shards. They had the garbage like lying around, and the guy just simply wouldn't open the maps. So in the end, I got frustrated. I quit, and then I joined another guild. Because they, as I say, they wouldn't open any maps at all. Yeah, now with a more experienced head, they were just kind of, yeah, we're not going to hold any maps, we'll just keep people there, they'll carry on contributing, and then meaning they, would kick me out and everybody else. That's basically it. And then I joined another guild, yeah, that's when I claimed that one shard and got kicked out on the spot, and I thought, you know what, I'm not having this shit no more. So that's when I was looking around for names, and I took the bold move of creating my own guild. And at the time, I did not have a million gems. So the cost, I can't remember how much the cost is to create a guild, but it actually felt quite expensive at the time. And then I recruited my old captain Isond, and that's Isond, I think it is. I always pronounce it Isond. It's Isond to me, you know what I mean? And a part of my heart still hurts that she's not around. But I'll tell you what, anybody who's got a new guild or just starting off with their guild, they will know exactly what I'm talking about when I say that it's really hard and the game does you absolutely no favours. Kinda. They've got something a little bit more now. You can invite people directly to the guild from the queue. So they have done something. But back in the day, it wasn't there. You know what I mean? When I was starting off, and you just reliant upon guild chat, world chat, and just trying to catch people who want to join a guild. But there's always like ridiculous competition, and I find that the people that you find in a guild chat, other than Isond, who I think I found from, world chat, who I think I found for world chat, but not necessarily. But anyway, the people you generally find are the ones that have already spent their gems, and the good news is that they're keen to move their game on, but they're a little bit too keen, so they're there just to take. You know what I'm saying? So they're not there to be team players, and they'll come in, they'll steal the shards, and they'll bounce. You know what I mean? And nobody needs that. But anyway, yeah, I got my old captain Isond, and she stuck by me. And I had like 2 other players at the time, and they weren't really active, and they weren't really engaging at all. But me and her, we stuck it through, and we got more players, and then I did the YouTube thing, and the rest is history. You know what I mean? I got some new capitans now. I've got to know her like really well, and yeah, they're awesome. Hussein Malone, he's a new captain, and before I go and talk about Hussein, it's just like, yeah, these guys, Mr. Books, Misled Jester, and there's just so many other players as well. When we were just a one guild, the dark side, yeah. Then we had the idea, well, I had the idea to have another guild, but I don't know if somebody else mentioned it beforehand. There's been so many players who have come and gone, you know what I mean? And these other players that just endure. Andre's been here forever. FU's been here forever. And Nagafed's been here for a fair long time, and obviously Misled Jester. Anyway, we all come up with the name of the Dark Rebels, and this is our base guild. This will always be the main focus of the guild now, and all our power accounts will always sit here and nowhere else. Gosh, Yeah. Damn. And it's always good to have new ideas. And so I've just talked about Mr. Box and Mr. Jester. You know, these are the kind of people, once you get to know these people in the guild, not only my captains, but everybody. It kind of encourages you. And my man Nagafen mentioned it before as well, and others have mentioned it, that there's a lot of grind to the game. You know what I mean? Like, let's have a look at what the events they got, you know, IGG have got planned for us. I must admit, early on in the game, I would have been really looking forward to the double meld event, and it's still useful, but it's not as exciting when you're starting off and you desperately need to do that meld. So for people at a certain level, this just means grind. It just means that there's nothing of interest for us to do, and it's kind of IGG going to the wheelhouse of trying to get like the smaller players engaged in the game, and there's less for the older players to do. But there is something for the gem spenders to do. You know, they just have to try and rank on Momoya. But I guess they're ranking for, I don't know, just do, I mean, on Momoya, they're doing that in order to get special cards so they can rank in certain events, so they can rank in tournaments, and we just generally enjoy the game like the rest of us. Yes. But yeah, so it's been a passing of the mantle, yeah, well, passing of milestones anyway, with just starting the guild with Isond, my first captain, to Mr. Jester, Mr. Box. It was just absolutely awesome, and can't really imagine them not being there now. You know what I mean? They've been there for so long. Damn. And now we got Lone, and Lone is just like full of ideas, and he's full of energy, and you know what, I mean, so many other strong players. Treffany, he had a fantastic idea about, before I talk about Lone, talk about Treffany, he had a great idea about, you know what, fair enough, we're only bothered about certain creatures on map 6, well, Paragon, so we're kind of going in with the strategy of trying to get a meld from the other creatures on map 6 in order to make them halfway interesting, which is which is a great concept. And yeah, I like that. And Lone's just coming with a million, just so much energy, and just so much kind of cooperative and team spirit. And Lone's a new captain. Hussein is Lone, and you know, it's just awesome to have him on board. And yeah, and where we're at right now in my guild is, it's kind of a period of change. I think most of our players, as I mentioned before, have got Paragon now, which I think is pretty much, well, it's definitely the strongest card that you'll get for free from guild maps. I'm kind of opening my mind now to the potential for, you know, utility cards like Revive Carriers for Bloodletter, or getting your I9s up. You know what I mean? So you can put I9 if you can't afford an I10, I don't know, because you're not a money player. Just getting those in reserve, so you can meld that onto your Paragon, so you can meld that onto your cards and be retreat proof, because you can believe that up to a certain level most people will have retreat as their main strategy to try and defeat you. So if I still want to play my Shropatero, it's going to have I9, so it can't be retreated. Well, 10% chance of retreat. You know what I mean? So all this is for the future, and I mentioned before about, you know, this is another Revive Carrier, but also got Battle Blow. Block is weak in comparison to Frost Armor, and Rampart, but it is what it is, and Immunity. Another Revive Carrier, yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, so basically the others are just kind of meld potential, and you know, it's coming up with some great ideas, and Lone's come up with a fantastic idea in terms of like an entire shard distribution strategy, which we're talking about today. And that is like the advancement and the evolving of the game from our perspective. When I say our, I mean that's like kind of the more experienced player, I guess, you know what I mean? Somehow I'm level 97 on this playthrough account. Crazy. Anyway, all that to say this, my guild is very close to my heart. And the other news, stepping aside from all of that, is I managed to get my torment rune to level 10, baby. 1000 HP recovered. Assuming it's not frozen or, stunned or, requiem'd. For every creature in their graveyard, I get 1000 back. 1000. It's kind of awesome. I did do a video. I'm not going to post it now because I'm doing this video, but obviously it's particularly useful to get 1000 HP back. And the way I did it was, for want of a better word, just grave robbing. I went kind of to all the cards that I rarely use. I already used all the runes from the cards I don't use, so I even went to the cards I rarely use and just stripped them of their runes, as long as it wasn't, not a melt, not like a, see this protein 4, obviously I'm not going to use a protein 4 or anything else 4 that I might use, you know what I mean, but protein 3 was gone on cards that I would like rarely use or, hardly ever never. Basically I got it to level 10. So now it's about, because from now it kind of goes back to what I was initially saying. In my guild, people who've got alt accounts, they're going to have a lot of Paragon. They're going to have a lot of Paragon because you've got two, they're going to have two, there'll be in 2 queues. The guild for the mains, this is the mains guild, the Dark Rebels, and there'll also be a queue in the dark side, which is the alts guild. That's where all the alt accounts live, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th accounts. And the dark side will be used to farm Paragon for all of us. It's awesome to think about. So, gosh man, this guild and these guys and girls, I don't think we got any girls anymore. Listen, if there's any girls out there, it's not a come on, it's not like a chat up or anything. We definitely want more girls in our guild. Definitely. Okay? So please. If you don't have a guild, if you're not quite happy where you're at, you just kind of like what I'm like the cut of my jib, which is like, if you like my chatter and all that, then, if you like to join a progressive guild who's like an honest guild, not a slave guild, you know what I'm saying, everybody will get their turn, everybody will have to wait their turn, but they will get their turn and they will thrive. And if you don't believe me, you can ask any of these guys, you know what I mean, so they're all awesome. Yes, but the minimum that you would need is, say 30,000 gems at the end of this Alice Bond, 30,000, and the reason why, as I mentioned in the previous video, I don't believe people who have already spent their gems will stick with the game, and I don't think their games will flourish either. So it'd be pointless you joining us. Unless you just want to join, give us your contribution, then leave, I guess. You know what I mean? We could do that if you wanted to. But, I guess you don't. But there you go. Anyway, so that's all I really wanted to say. I just want to show you guys one battle. And it will... Okay, we've lost one. Is that the same... Listen, we're friends of NFS. Is that the same NFS guy I was fighting the last time? I can't really remember. I'm interested in who defends and who doesn't. Here it's like my Val account is defended and my Wraith account has. And my Wraith account will be significantly stronger. Just bear with me. Significantly stronger as soon as he gets more Voodoo Queen Temptress, but at the moment I'm having to do the maximum to get anything. You know what I mean? I'm having to do kind of, sometimes you get lucky. You don't need to go all the way with the melds. Oh, I've had no luck for a very long time. Anyway, so for this one, we lost both. Let's look for you, son. If for no other reason, just to get, just be in awe of NFS Loran's awesomeness. I think he might well already be far ahead. I like isn't that guy dope? I like his character special letters and that. I'm no way promoting dope. Oh, in fact, let's kick Dope's ass. Apart from if he's got Druidess and Unholy Rites, then we'll say, good day to you, sir. Have a good day, and mind yourself. Right, of course, he's got 2 Aquarius, 1 Aquarius, Hanzo, garbage deck. Alright, cool, so what we're going to do, it is tricky, we might well not do it, but we're going to try. We're going to go with Vile against Vile, and Wraith against Homigan. I just hope that we win out all the chatter that I've done. All the schmoozing that I've done. Shameless schmoozing. Right, so my Armageddon deck is actually not doing that bad. That's my garbage deck. It's going to have more Battle Blow Twins in it in the future, but it still is a garbage deck. So it's still a lost deck. Right, so we need to be careful with that Taurus. Is going to straight up murder us. But yeah, oh, gosh, man. See, those 3 cards. The only card that was retreatable was that Paragon. And that's going to be the death of us. Apart from, what's it called again? Mass Charm. Oh, yeah, I think we're just going to be unlucky. Listen, it's not going to happen. It's winnable, but we was never going to win that one. So what can we do for 3 minutes and 40? Alright, we're going to do the gauntlet. If I remember, I'm going to come back to that RCP guy. I've already done it. I can't go out on a loss. Can I? Can I? I think there's no harm in going out on a loss, whatever. I did try meld. I evolved my Phantom Liege, and I was in 2 minds what to do with it. In order for it to be a standalone member, then, because basically I got lots of copies of Phantom Liege. In order for it to stand alone, what it really would need is kind of I8, I9. But then I looked at it and I thought, you know what? I've only got like 2 I9s, and I'd rather go on something better than the Phantom Liege. And I thought, okay, well, I8, and I thought, now my I8 is actually Magmus, so I'd prefer more copies of Magmus, and then maybe I'll put I9 on that. It's got Battle Blow and Immunity, obviously Immunity 8. So I thought, okay, I'm not going to waste my Magmus, and then I thought, well, am I going to drop down to a Horn Beast, meld on Phantom Liege, like I7? I thought, well, if I'm going to, I don't know if I can bring myself to go I7, so I think I'd rather just go Warlust, and then its job is to, okay, Life Sap, Sweeping Blow. Its job is not for the enemy not to dodge, which is going to be a real trick, and to recover enough health from Life Sap that it lives. That's its job. And if it connects, then Warlust will just straight up kill them. That's the plan for Phantom Liege. But I can understand people who put Frost Armor on it, I7, I8, I9, depending on how many you got. I can understand it. For me, Warlust. There you go. And it's the same problem for Titania. I mean, at least Phantom Liege's Morty. Titania's really got nothing to offer me at this stage of my game, really. So, it could make a case for I8 on a Titania for it to have, you know what I mean? So at least it won't be retreated, and then maybe Chain Strike can do something with Queen Temptress, maybe? But am I that desperate to try and do something about Queen Temptresses? No, because they'll have retreat and they'll resist retreat anyway. So it goes back to Warlust on Titania for now as well. Either way, I ran out of gold, so I couldn't finish the mill. There you go. Yeah, that'd be that. Right, so I've got this energy, as always. Always finish the mines. As I mentioned before, I believe IGG, for free to play anyway, for me, have killed the gem mine. So on double, I do collect these though. Reduces enemy range by 20, that's crazy useful. I'll never get to the point where I actually get enough shards to get this from any of the mines, because you need like 1,000 shards. And that's part of the reason why IGG have killed the gem mines, because even if you do invest in the gem mines, you never get those. Okay, not never, but the time scale for you to get enough shards randomly, you know what I mean, picking up another 5, 10, 20 of those reduce the enemy rage shards, you need 1,000. You're picking it up randomly. How many are they? I think that's part of their master plan, that you've got to really buy into it in order to get it, but they've just set that, they've set the threshold ridiculously high, which for me anyway just means I'm not even going to bother trying. Not from gem mines, I'll take it from the energy mines. And then the strategy for me is, there's going to have to be another way that I pick up those relics, probably from the lucky spin, and if I get it by luck, then I'll have shards ready to evolve it, and if I don't ever get it by luck, then I'll never have it. That's the story. You see, I mean, I think before I was looking at Glacial Pendant, wasn't I? So those shards, the extra shards that I picked up, now I've got 45. Whew. I just need an extra 955, and then I'll actually have the card, the artifact. And to be honest, I could say the same thing about everything else. I did pick up the pike from the lucky spin. I found that crazy useful. There's no way I'd invest in getting it though from LP points. Alright, let's try and find that guy. Is it him? Damn right he was. I'm not saying that we're going to win. I'm just saying that we can, with a better run of the cards, that we can most definitely perform better. Not on this one though. That might be very, very useful. That is very, very useful. The fact that we did the model with that Aquarius, because these truckers are deed. Oh, it's Files, not. Oh my gosh! Keep on getting mixed up with Wraith. I'm so used to Wraith. Still useful though. Still useful. That is a real shame. Real shame. Because Paragon was just about to lock that. And that is kind of useful though. We're going to have Freezing Dance. But unfortunately we're all going to be like hell-fired. Hella-fired. Okay, so Paragon's going to do its thing. Hey. So we need to kill. Well, Hanzo's dead. Defo. Yomungan against Flare. Weak. I'm seriously thinking to get rid of Yomungan and put it on the Bloodletter. I know they've got Aquarius, and obviously that they had Flare. Flare's going to die right now. Oof, there he is. I think the look of the draw of the card, sorry, was very good to us this time. Because Octavius seems to spend way too long coming to the party. And again, I would much prefer Freezing Dance more so than Dodge. Just so I can control them and yeah, just control them for one round, even if they hit me for one round. There's nothing I could do to stop them hitting me for one round with the Diamond Dust from Aquarius. the one thing I could have done or would have wanted to do is Freezing Dance. Right, anyway, so I've got 10 cards. He's got less than 10. Ooh. Oh, Shirapatel, you're awesome. It's not going to do anything. Well, actually, Aquarius. Oh, that's swordplay. That was renewal. Oh, no, I don't know. Anyway, I think we're going to be fine. When I say think, these chuckers are dead. Defo. I'm just enjoying it since we lost that first battle. Because although Octavius will damage us again, Paragon is just about to do this. Maxed. And you look at Chiroptera, still at 2-4-2-3. That's its max. Which, I think I mentioned this in an earlier video. Multivigor, 375. Oops. Yeah, 375. No, 275. How did it work out 275? Interesting. 2007. Oh, doesn't matter. Anyway, we've won this one. So now we go on to the third battle. Gosh, man, we should not lose to Armageddon anyway, especially once we've established Rage Control and the next 3 cards, they're going to be dead. Maybe not Virgil, but... So maybe not Virgo, but the rest should be dead, man. He should be dead. And I've got a Recycle 3 card. That usually means that nobody will die when I'm up against the Armageddon, for goodness sake. Right. What are you, Nidhogg? No, you ain't, son. You only think you recycle it. You're actually dead. You're actually dead. No contest. Anyway, I think I'm going to leave it there. Listen, they're not going to recover from here. No chance. No chance. Whereas before I didn't have Freezing Dance, that's going to be an additional problem for them. Which we'll just watch that a little bit, just for my own enjoyment. There you go. How do you like that? How do you like that, son? I'm still in the rage and bringing it onto my side. But of course, he won 1, I won 1. That means it's a draw. Excellent. Anyway, so please like, subscribe. That is Steve, and I am out.